So I want to bring you guys up to speed with a major issue that has come up on this build for the log home. So basically, I found a contractor, concrete contractor, and they were able to get my work done in a reasonable amount of time. So scheduled them in, and they went ahead and poured a footing, which those of you who are following along, you see that was one of the first pours that I showed. And then after that, they went ahead and poured the frost wall, which is basically a 4 foot tall wall that goes around the perimeter of the log home. So these are pictures that I took after the pour, after they stripped the forms off. So basically the frost wall is 12 inches thick, and I wanted to get it that thick in order to A, make sure that it's strong enough to hold 2 stories of a log home, and B, wide enough so the logs wouldn't go past the actual foundation wall. To be wide enough for them to sit and have a stable base. So, as we all know, foundation is everything. You build on a strong foundation, there's going to be a successful project if all goes well. So afterwards, I did notice as I was taking these pictures, I did notice that there were some cracks. So here you can see with this picture, right on top of the foundation wall, hairline crack was basically going across from the outside to the inside. It didn't go down the wall, but it was maybe around an inch. It seemed like around the top inch of the concrete was cracked. And a lot of locations. So it wasn't like one or two. This was spread throughout the wall. So obviously this was a concern. So I went ahead and reached out to took these pictures and reached out to the concrete guy. And he said that this is common, pretty much happens, and it's not structural. So he assured me it wasn't structural, which was the main thing for me. If it's cosmetic, no problem. I was going to go ahead and, as you can see here, I was going to go ahead and get it coated with waterproofing. So the waterproofing is something that would pretty much seal up any cracks and stuff like that. And like I said, since it wasn't structural and didn't go all the way down the wall, then that's something that would be good. And also the waterproofing is guaranteed. So pretty much if there is any leaks in the future, this product here was guaranteed by the company that sprayed it on. So that was a good thing. So after they poured the garage pad, it turns out that the contractor mentioned before the wintertime, he would advise that I brace up the foundation wall, the back of the foundation wall. So I went online and found these structural supports. They're adjustable, and what I was going to do was go ahead and get some 3-inch electrical conduit, the rigid conduit, heavy wall conduit, and span the width of the house, and basically just shore up that back wall, because that back wall is 60 feet in length. So by the time I get back and went ahead and started that process, you can see here. This is the pictures of the middle of the back wall. So it's basically the north side of the house. So you can see on the top, it has cracked all the way across after the waterproofing. So the waterproofing cracked, and these are the pictures showing it go down the interior of the wall. So unfortunately, my foundation is cracked, and it goes all the way down to the footing. So obviously that's a problem. That's a major concern. I didn't start building the home yet, and already we have a cracked foundation. And it's October, so there's no reason why before the ground even froze that it would crack the foundation wall. So I talked to the contractor, and he mentioned, that he would come out. So they came on out, and basically they want to know how did I backfill it and what did I use to tamp the material. It's basically coarse sand in the back. So I explained what I did, and from there, we came up with a plan on because they basically mentioned that this was something that it happens. This is not uncommon for a new foundation to crack. So I'm new to this type of work, but that didn't sound right to me. So what I decided to do was, which is what I should have done at the time of pour, is get the concrete tested. So in order to do that, I need to make some core drills. So basically, what I did was I rented a core machine, and the agreement was, to get the cores, send it out to a lab. They were recommending a lab, but I said, you know what, let me take it to a lab of my choosing. So I actually took it to a lab out of state, just to make sure that, we get the unbiased conclusion to the test. And, so what I'm doing here is I'm coring two holes, two sample holes, and what they will do is will provide the material to the testing lab, so they'll be able to go ahead and test it and for strength. So the agreement that I had with the concrete contractor was, um, if the tests come back and they do not meet the Maine state of Maine standard criteria for foundation strength, he would go ahead and rip the whole foundation out and replace it on his dime, no charge to me. So um, based on that agreement, we went ahead and moved forward and went ahead and had the samples tested. So here you can see the results sheet. So basically what they do is they go ahead and test the samples for strength, and it's rated by PSI. So the state of Maine's minimum standard for a foundation wall such as mine is 3,000 PSI. So zooming in, you'll see um, the corrected strength for the first core was 3,090 pounds, and the corrected strength for the second core was 3,270 pounds. So both of them passed. Both of them passed, and pretty much at this point, the foundation does meet Maine state requirements. Unfortunately, mine cracked in the middle, but the waterproofing company is going to come out again and go ahead and seal it up again. So I had to excavate the outside of the foundation wall to expose the exterior of the crack, and he went ahead and treated it again with the waterproofing. So that's it. So I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward. This is something that's obviously very disturbing, especially since it's a brand new build, and I'm going to put a tremendous amount of work into constructing this log home by myself, by hand. And the last thing you need is to have any major issues. So um, it's an unfortunate situation that I do have a crack, but there are ways to treat foundation walls if they do leak in the future from the inside. So I'll have that option. But yeah, I'm moving forward. So the next update you'll see is moving forward with the construction of the subfloor and all the framing in order to close up that foundation and protect it as much as possible before the ground thoroughly freezes. So see how it goes.